This week on The Real Housewives of Orange County.
You're being rude. And you're sloshed. And that is what's happening here. Yes. Don't say something rude. I'm not being rude. You're being rude to everybody at the table, Tamara. This is actually my table. And I don't...
Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the new episode of The Real Housewives of Orange County, Season 19, Episode 6. Let's get right into it. Okay, you guys, today has been like the Bravo day. First of all, started the morning off with the new Housewives of Salt Lake City trailer, which Salt Lake City is that show. I am so excited for it to come back. I just love when Salt Lake City comes back because it usually means, we're heading into the fall. Then the holidays will be soon after that. So I'm excited about that. We then get a new episode of Orange County, which y'all know is like my favorite franchise. And we're getting a second episode of The Real Housewives of Miami, which I will be recapping tomorrow. So it's just been bravo, effing bravo, and I'm here for it. But let's get started into this episode because my goodness, do we have a lot to talk about. It was crazy. Okay, so we start off with the ladies who are here in New Orleans. It's their first night and they're kind of just having fun. It's nighttime. They're having drinks, dancing, going around the streets. Good times. Everything's good. Is there tension? Yeah. Shannon mainly has issues with a lot of people. She can't really let go of anything. Not even for a second. But, everyone's trying to make the best of it and just having some fun. Gina and Emily also gave Tamara some advice to show how she's changed through therapy. Because apparently they've drank the Kool-Aid and believe this as well. Which isn't going to happen because Tamara ain't changed-ish. But that was that. We then get to see the next morning. They're all waking up, getting ready for a new day. They split into two groups to do some different activities. Heather, Gretchen, Gina, and Jen, they're one group, and they go on a little train, and then they're going to go do some stuff. Emily, Tamra, Shannon, and Katie are supposed to go somewhere else to a cafe. But guess what? Katie's not there. Because before the group left, Shannon told her straight to her face, "I'm not going if you're going. I don't want to be anywhere near you. So I won't go if you go." Now, lucky for us, this wasn't just talked about. They actually caught this on camera. So we got to see little glimpses of that conversation. And the hate that Shannon had when she said that, it was real, you guys. Like, Shannon was pissed. But then I hated that Katie's the one that has to go to another place now. If Shannon is the one who has a problem and doesn't want to be anywhere near her, then you get up and you leave. The hell? Listen, I'm sure that a lot of you guys have heard that coming into this season, Shannon gave the network an ultimatum and told them that if they brought back Alexis Bellino, that she wouldn't come back. And I'm starting to think that Shannon overstayed her welcome, and come to think of it, maybe they should have brought Alexis back. Because what is this behavior? Anyway, yeah, Shannon, she's overstayed her welcome, definitely. Gina's group, then they go do some shopping, and then they are also buying some food. Of course, they had to get some beignets. How could you not? Katie joins them, and the girls are like, where are you coming from? What happened? And Katie says, well, Shannon says that she didn't feel safe if I joined them, so I just left. Then they go do some shopping. They go to this big market, so they get to split up a little. Jen then confides in Katie and Gretchen about this quote-unquote fatty picture that Tamara showed some people. I think she only showed it to Heather, but at this point, everyone knows about it. It's really bothering her, and it's becoming very frustrating that Heather keeps downplaying everything that Tamara is doing, trying to make excuses for it because, what Teddy is going through, and that's not an excuse. That's got nothing to do with anything, okay? And I'm really proud that Jen is not going to sit back and not just say anything, because it's just crazy. Like, someone showed a quote-unquote fatty picture, which she wasn't even fat or anything, so that in and of itself is ridiculous, but it's the intent, right? So the intent of Tamara bringing this up, what Tamara's saying, that she's a single white female. So, and then for Heather Dubrow to be like, oh, she didn't say that, it's not that big of a deal. Like, no, you are the one that gets butthurt over the simplest things, like, oh, you call the paparazzi, now you're having a meltdown, but you don't want Jen to feel some type of way? No, she's not going to sit back, and she's going to say something. So, meanwhile, the other three, they ate as well, and then Shannon is still talking bad about Katie. Emily then tells Shannon, hey, so Jen told me that you keep telling her not to roll on you. Like, you keep saying to her, don't roll on me. Kind of sounding like you don't want her to roll on you with Tamra. And then Shannon does this, like, freaking thing that I can't stand, which I'm starting to see it's a pattern. Every time she gets called out on something that she said, like, off camera, she likes to act, like, either shocked or confused. Like, what? Or she'll either say, like, that's not part of my vocabulary, or I would never say that. But, yeah, you definitely did. So then Tamra asks her, do you want people to, like, turn on me? And Shannon's like, no, it's just that what happened to us with us last year was a lot, and it was just a lot. Tamara says, I get it. It was definitely a lot. That's why I don't drink anymore. I will not drink because I don't like who I was last year. I was just thinking, Tamara, don't blame it on the alcohol, first of all. You are who you are. And then Tamara says to Shannon, can you please let it go? Like, we've had a 10-year friendship. Shannon says, I don't know. I can't jump back onto it. And Tamara's like, I'm very sorry and I love you. And y'all already know Shannon's going to fall for this. Then all of them meet to attend a parade. It's a parade about dogs and fostering and rescuing dogs. Emily wanted them to join, so all of the women are here. And all of the women on the show, I believe, have dogs, so they all like being here. Do any of y'all have any dogs? Let me know in the comments. I don't have any dogs. Never had any. Probably never will. That's just me. But let me know if you do. It looked like they had a lot of fun. Then after that, they go see a woman by the name of Bloody Mary who has a voodoo shop. I'm sorry, I wouldn't have gone to that. I'm good. They're going to be making voodoo dolls, each and every one of them. Gretchen and Shannon are like, you know what, nah, we're just going to sit back and observe. But the lady, Bloody Mary, she's like, there's no such thing as an observer. If you're here, then you're an observer participant. Everyone here is a participant. So Gretchen, Tamara, and Shannon walk out, which I kind of get it. So Tamara and Gretchen, they are kind of seeming to get along just a little bit. The thing that pissed me off was that the three of them, they left outside and, they're talking, and Shannon just won't stop talking about Katie. And it's like, damn, Shannon, you can't have this, like, holier than thou, you're too pure to be at the voodoo shop, but then you have all this anger inside of you. So she asks Gretchen, so what did Katie say when she went with you guys earlier today? And Shannon and Gretchen says, oh, well, she just said that you called her a criminal. To which Shannon's like, yes, she committed a criminal act. She did something illegal. Do you want someone around you who commits illegal acts? And I loved Gretchen in this moment because she says, well, Shannon, yeah, but in all fairness, you got a DUI, which is also an illegal act. Shots fired! That was so good. Because, like, come on now. Tamara then says to Shannon, you should give her a chance. And Shannon's like, well, Tamara, are you forgetting that she also wanted to get stories leaked about Drew? And then Gretchen is like, wait, like, what is this about? And Tamara's like, yeah, I need to tell you what happened. So Katie had lunch with a woman named Kiki Monique. And since she said some horrific things, and Katie told her that you, Gretchen, that you told her that I roofied you. First of all, what the hell does that mean? That was my first reaction. What does that word mean? You guys, I actually had to pause it and Google it. And I guess it's something about giving drugs. I'm still a little confused. I don't know what it means. Can we get some definitions here? I really didn't know, but I think it's like a bad thing because they kept saying it was illegal. So I'm just assuming it's like illegal and drugs. Something about that. But so then Tamra says that Katie told these people that Gretchen said that Tamra roofied her during the naked, wasted moment, which I've seen that on YouTube. First of all, I can't believe Tamra tried to downplay it in the confessional. Like, no, Tamra, the tapes are still, like, on the internet. Like, we know that you and Vicki, as much as I love Vicki, but I gotta admit, both of them were messed up. It was one of the darkest moments caught on camera, that they were trying to get her drunk, and then Tamara's creepy racist son takes her into a bathroom. No, you're not gonna gaslight us into thinking that wasn't as bad as it was. But anyway, it's about that event. But again, Tamra says, Katie says that Gretchen told her that she was that whole roofie thing. As soon as Gretchen heard this, she's shocked. She doesn't know if she should or shouldn't believe it. And then here goes Shannon. How dare she? I can't believe this. I am livid over this. And I was like, Shannon, shut up. That's not about you. But then Tamra uses this opportunity. And this is, if you guys are a fan of the show, you know this is typical Tamra manipulation. She takes this opportunity to be like, Gretchen, like, I want to move forward with you. Like, you're beautiful and you're a mom and we should move past this. She was really hoping that Gretchen would, like, this would weaken her to kind of just, like, you know, accept her. And I just hated this scene because here goes Tamra again causing problems for Katie, just like she did when she opened her mouth and told Emily what Kylie had said, just like she did by bringing up the recording that Katie took of Shannon, and now here she is doing it a third time. And this is why I'm super glad that a few episodes ago Matt, Katie's husband, put Tamla in her place. Meanwhile, the other girls are doing their witchcraft stuff, baptizing their voodoo dolls. Okay, so it's now much later, and they went back to the Four Seasons Hotel. That's where they're staying. It's been a while. They've had time to relax and get ready for dinner, which is going to be in a little bit. Now, Tamra is going to Shannon's room, like if nothing ever happened between them. All of a sudden, now they're besties again. Although she did have a drink that looked a little suspicious. But anyway, like I said, they're getting ready to go to dinner. Gretchen, though, she's very distraught. It looks like she had the air punched out of her. So Jen and Katie go to her room, and Katie asks, like, what's going on? And Gretchen says, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Tamra told me today that you went to bloggers and told them a crazy story, telling them that Tamra roofied me. Or roofed, whatever the word is. So the first thing that goes on in Katie's mind, it's like almost like a light bulb. She's like, oh my God. She's thinking this all lines up. Because first Tamra tells me that I said something really bad about her. Then in a separate instance, Heather questions me about talking to Kiki Monique. And now this is happening. It all makes sense. Of course, Katie denies it. It looks like Gretchen, she's having a hard time. She doesn't believe the source, who it's coming from. So her head is really spinning. But anywho, they get going to dinner as well. And then on their way to dinner, Tamara is telling everybody about this Katie thing. Gina, Emily, Heather, Shannon, who already knew. And I think Katie is onto something. This seems extremely calculated from Tamara. So by the time Gretchen, Jen, and Katie got to dinner, all the other ones were already there, and they were talking about Katie and this specific situation. So they're all sitting at dinner, and Tamara just randomly says to Gretchen, can we go talk? So they go stand away from the table, and Tamara says, do you want me to bring this up, or don't you? Because it's just such a nasty thing. Did you talk to her about it? Gretchen says, yes, and she said that she didn't do that. Tamara says, and do you believe that? Gretchen says, yeah. Katie then gets up to use the bathroom, and then she just goes ahead and stands next to Gretchen and Tamara. And Katie says to Tamara, I did not talk to Kiki Monique about this. Tamara says to her, well, 2 people reached out to me. And Katie says, who? Tamara says, well, they don't want to be named. Oh, how convenient. Gretchen then says to Tamara, listen, Tamara, I was looking forward to move forward with you, and I'm still open for us to be able to talk and have that conversation. So, like, we could either harp on this, and then Tamara turns this, and she says to Gretchen, are you saying that I pulled this out of nowhere? And then Tamra storms back into the dinner table and she says to all of them, "Oh my gosh, Gretchen effing believes Katie. I am blindsided by Gretchen." And I was like, "What? How are you flipping this? Trying to act like you're offended?" So then when Katie and Gretchen walk back in, that crazy lunatic drunk by the name of Shannon storms Beador starts clapping and says, "Congratulations, Katie. Your excuses worked with someone." Katie says, "Oh, Shannon, whatever. You're not even involved." And then Shannon says, "I am angry. You have heard every single person on this table." Katie says, "Yeah, and I've owned it when I've done something wrong." Shannon then says, "Nobody wants to be around someone who hurts other people." Katie is keeping her cool. That's one thing about Katie. I don't think we're ever really going to see her scream. That's just not her personality. She's keeping her cool and she just says, "I didn't say it." And then you guys, Shannon goes off the charts screaming at Katie. She says, "Stop lying! I can't stand you." Wow, let me tell you guys, we've seen Shannon a lot on this show go at it with people. We've seen her go at it with Kelly Dodd, Vicki Gunvalson, Tamra Judge, Alexis Bellino, but never have I ever seen this amount of animosity and vitriol and hatred that she has for Katie. Gretchen then says, when it comes to this situation, where's the proof that this happened? Am I supposed to just say F you to my friend and just go after her with no proof? She's never done anything to me. Meanwhile, this other person has done so many things to me. Am I supposed to believe her? She was pointing at Tamra. Jen then asks Tamra, "Did you talk to Katie about this?" And Tamra's like, "Oh, well, no, I didn't want to make this into a big thing." Really? Tamra, you just lie and lie and lie. That's what you do. Anyway, Jen says, "You know what? We're putting it all on the table. Where's the picture? You're saying I'm obsessed with you? Saying I was fat, showing a picture about me?" Tamara then downplays this and she's like, "Oh, that, I was just retaliating. It's not a big deal. Whatever. You reached out to me. You were a fan. It's whatever." Jen says, "What do you mean it's not a big deal? Are you on something? Did you take something?" Tamara says, "I just feel like it was tit for tat when it's with you and me. We just say things to each other." Gretchen then innocently asks, "When did it start?" Tamara snaps at her and says, "None of your effing business. You don't know anything." Wow. And then Katie says, "What?" That's lit, you guys. Literally, she just says the word "what." And then Tamara turns to her and she says, "F off." So Gina, I was proud of Gina for a second. She says, "Tamara, you're being rude and you're sloshed. You're being rude to everyone in this table, Tamara, and that is not okay. This is my table and I don't appreciate it." And then Jen's like, "You know what? Yeah, Gina's right. I'm not even going to have this conversation with Tamara. We can table it. Tamara's acting weird. She's not even there." Heather is then offering some dessert and Tamara snaps at her too. Then Tamara randomly gets up and walks out looking like she's possessed. She starts to cry and tells the producer she wants to go home. Heather Dubrow then goes to check up on her and says, "What's going on?" And Tamara says, "I want to go home. What do you want from me? I don't care about Gretchen. She called my husband gay and she contacted my daughter. F off. F off. You can have her." She went off on Heather, which I didn't feel bad for. Heather, she was the one going around every damn scene, making excuses, being her mouthpiece, being her spokesperson, and look at her now. Now Tamara's going off on you, Heather. Good, I'm glad. But yeah, it was very scary the way that Tamara was behaving. She gets out of the restaurant. Gina then gets a text from Tamara saying, "F off." Tamara then goes on her Instagram and puts that corny post where she quit the show. And I remember when this all happened in real time during filming and everybody wanted to say, "Oh, she needed a break. She was going through a lot with her best friend's illness." BS, 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 and shame on Tamara for using that to get sympathy and to excuse her behavior. She got out of that scene and she quit the show because, like I said last week, bringing Gretchen in was the secret weapon. Tamara has not been able to handle Gretchen being back here and teaming up with Jen. That's number one. Number two, this was another classic Tamara Judge behavior, trying to manipulate a situation and trying to control the narrative. And guess what? It didn't work. She thought Gretchen was going to say F you, Katie, and be Team Tamra. Hell no, it didn't work out. So, yeah, you got your ass up and left. And you know what? Oh, well. You were off the show, and we didn't really miss you. We missed Vicki. Not really. We didn't really miss you, though. But anyway, you guys, when I tell y'all this was an episode. And this is why I remember last week the episode was a little bit slower, but I can appreciate that, because then we get like something so good like this one where we're like, oh my God. And yeah, I can't wait to see how this New Orleans trip continues to unfold. But you guys, please let me know your thoughts and opinions about this episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch y'all next time. Y'all have a great one. Bye.